Hey everyone, and welcome to 1.21 Jigowatts. I am Peter, that is Connor, and this is a weekly trailer talk show. We pick a bunch of trailers from the week, we talk about them, discuss how we feel about them, good trailers, interesting movies perhaps, we'll see.
I would like to specify you pick a bunch of trailers from the week because I don't want to have to bear responsibility for any boring
That's
trailers.
fine, that's fine. Links to all the trailers are down in the description below, and we at the end of the show we'll pick our favourite of the bunch. We have a decent amount this week. It's not quite as hefty as the past week, but not too
Yeah.
quiet either, which is nice. No super, no big as the video games industry would put it, AAA like tentpole movies this week, but that's okay.
Yeah. We'll get
Well,
them
I
at
mean,
some point.
sometimes the smaller stuff's more interesting. So, without further ado, we are going to kick off this week with The Old Man and the Gun, which, if I correct me if I'm wrong, but this is Robert Redford's last film, right? This is
So
his
we've
swan
heard.
song. And Sissy Spacek, who of course we've been watching in Castle Rock recently.
Hmm.
So he is an older gentleman. Danny Glover's in there as well, and he robs banks. He's a very friendly bank robber. He seems very nice, very pleasant.
Just kind of goes up and goes, "Hi,
Yes.
here's my gun."
And he's on the run. He's just playing this big heist with his other old buddies. It definitely feels like it almost looks more like a coming of age story for elderly people.
For older
Yes,
people, yes.
than anything else. As much as it is about a bank heist and about stealing things, I will say the trailer, like the soft country music that was sort of accompanying a lot of the trailer, wasn't exactly getting me hyped for anything. A little bit too.
Yeah, it seemed to undermine any of the
Yes,
tension,
that's my thing.
but I think it was trying to play up the relationship side of things.
I mean that's fair. It's
But
that makes it feel to me like the plot is less relevant and it's more about the comedy of the friendships and the you know
yeah. But I don't know how accurate that'll be to
yeah.
the movie in the
Because
end.
I feel like if he gets caught at the end, it's going to be a really sad kind of ending.
Mm,
I
yeah.
expect things to go wrong, but nah, I mean it looks okay. Obviously it's got a good cast. The cast are definitely the best thing
Oh,
about it.
absolutely. No denying that. It's got a good style, visual style to it as
Yeah,
well. But I mean, it's not grabbing me. Not a must watch.
nah, that's fair. But yeah, I mean it is his last movie, so if you're a Robert Redford fan, this feels like an obvious thing to.
Which, to be fair, a
A
lot
lot
of
of
people
people
are.
are.
It's been in
He's
a
a
lot of
very likable
movies.
dude, and that's kind of what he's playing here. He's a bank robber, but he's still a very likable dude. Uh, yes.
He is, yes.
And he's dating someone who doesn't know that he's a bank robber, and you can see the obvious tropes that are probably going to come out of that. Of like, does he want to give that up for her? Does he want to,
Yeah.
is he still drawn to the life of crime this one last time? That kind of stuff. But that is The Old
Mm.
Man and the Gun. Next up, we've got a film called Summer '03, or it feels weird not to call it Summer of '03. Maybe I'm still supposed to say it that way. But so, by the way, we're setting movies like period pieces now in 2003. This is a thing we're doing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
kind of terrifying.
weird.
Joel was really weird. I assume this is just whoever, put this on YouTube where
Hmm.
you've got it from. But their O3 is the letter, not the number.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's a mistake on their end.
Unless it is,
Otherwise, this makes no sense to me.
unless they put it that because they want you to say '03 and not just three.
But no one's gonna do that. They're gonna see the
Mm.
the apostrophe and go, oh yeah, O3, sure.
Don't me. So this is a sort of teen girl coming of age thing. Joey King's in this. Again, making me feel old. Like she was like one of the younger girls in The Conjuring. Just to put
Yeah,
this in perspective. And now,
that wasn't that
it
long
wasn't
ago,
that.
to
I
be
mean, that was
fair.
what 2013. So it's been 5 years. It's not been that long. But now she's in a movie where our characters are talking about sex ad nauseum. So this is one that might have been skipped, but I couldn't help but put this in because the premise of this film is that her grandmother, who's dying on her deathbed before she dies, tells her to learn to give a good blowjob, and the premise of the film seems to be her trying to build up to give it a blowjob. That's the concept of this one. Now, obviously, it's a bit broader than that, and it's more about her, her sexual awakening as a teenager and taking risks and her parents' attitude towards that. There's definitely a lot more there. It's a grandmother telling, hey, live life up a bit, right? Maybe she didn't, or maybe maybe she did, and she's like, hey, do this because this is how you live. I don't know. But there's something about the premise of the film being your grandmother on her deathbed saying, yeah, try and give a blowjob, will you? So she spends a summer trying to build up to this with several. There's the religious boy at the church in the trailer.
Yes.
Who who seems, it's almost like any moment you might just turn around and say, this is a sin. This is some holy water. And
yeah, I think I'll be honest, the trailer didn't do that much for me. The one time I did chuckle is she's in the church trying to figure out like a speech to say, at the funeral presumably, and she goes, to empty church, like, hello Catholics, and the other guy's like, yes. It's like, just that got me a little chuckle.
I mean, the trailer didn't do much for me either, but again, the concept is grandmother on her deathbed tells her teenage granddaughter, learn to give a blowjob.
Do you know what I thought was really strange about this trailer? So you know how at the end of trailers it'll come up with, okay, here's the actors in it, and it has, it comes up with you just like a little picture or a little moment from them in the film that you've probably already seen in the trailer and their name that's come up, and it showed that the grandmother in the deathbed again. I'm like, she's got to be in like 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, but she's probably like a known actress, so that's why she gets some billing.
Yeah, but it just seems so pointless.
I mean, I don't know. Summer 03. So here's the thing. What do you think the ending is? Do you think she finally gives a blowjob, or do you think she says, you know what? No, I'm rushing this, and I should take things slow. What?
I think we do both. I think she goes through the oh no, I don't need to do this. I'm doing it just because I'm supposed to, and then by the end she'll be like, do you know what? I actually want to. I like this guy. There you go. I'm calling it now.
If only teenagers actually made these decisions that bluntly. You know what? I like this guy. I'm just,
I feel like teenagers only make decisions bluntly.
Not that nonchalantly, they don't. They'll treat it as if it's like the biggest deal in the world. They might be blunt about it, but this is earth-shattering decision making. The way you said that was like, oh, you know what? I want a cake. I'll have an extra cake. That's the way you said that.
Yeah. This is true. But nonchalant is very different from blunt.
Sure. Okay.
I still don't want to see the movie.
No, really. It just seems a bit too, I don't know. Not funny enough, a bit too teen focused without being funny. I'm okay.
Yeah. Like, I can like teen movies a lot if they're funny.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's kind of just tedious.
So that's Summer of 03. Next up, we had Age of Summer. Look at that, another summer movie. This is a coming of age story, which is basically just here because I know Connor likes coming of age stories, and they can't stop making them apparently. Did anything stand out to you about this one in particular?
No, it seems really generic. I don't know. I like coming of age movies when they've got something to them, a little bit of bite.
I mean, how many coming of age stories, at this age where they're about like 14, 15, is it they're spending the summer somewhere and they meet a girl who they're only going to know for that summer, and because they're doing like lifeguard training or whatever. And he's also obsessed with his bike. Yeah. Everyone keeps commenting on how fancy his bike is, and then his bike gets stolen in the trailer, and that's a big plot point.
Yeah. Just nothing about this one's grabbing me.
Not really bad though. It just nothing. There was no hook.
It just looks a bit generic. Like it could be pretty good. Don't get me wrong. Like there's a chance for this to be quite funny in context. I don't think the trailer does a good job of showing
playing
that.
Up the I mean, I never specify where it was. I don't think. I'm assuming it was California, but there was a lot of sun. There was a lot. They were really playing up the heat of it.
Yeah. Like lots of stuff on the beach.
A lot of beach. Just the general tone of it. They definitely had like an overall visual style. I'll give it that.
Yeah, I think it's a bit too bright for me. Like, just it almost hurts my eyes to look at. I think that's just the ginger coming through, though.
Ginger coming through.
I see bright lights and I think, oh, that's the sun. Better look away. Better hide.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it was only bad, but it feels like I can see the beats of the movie playing in my head. I can almost hear the indie music playing as he does something notable and life changing at the end of the movie. The guitar chords playing. I can see the beats playing out. Next up, Netflix movie called Outlaw King. This is Chris Pine playing Robert the Bruce. And honestly, once I realised this is what it was, all I could do for the rest of the trailer was try and listen for his accent, because I wanted to hear his terrible Scottish accent. And we never get more than like a couple of words at a time, so I can never really quite catch it.
Yeah, I don't know how terrible it is, because I can't.
It may be fine, but I'm assuming it's going to be terrible.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with his work with accents.
I don't think I've ever heard him do an accent.
No, exactly.
So, I'm concerned. Given that I'm Scottish specifically, I'm doubly concerned.
I'm not concerned about the rest of the movie, though. No, I think it looks fantastic. I'm so down from the director of Hell or High Water as well. I love that movie.
That's true. That was the one point where I went, okay, all right, this might not be bad.
And I'm a sucker for these sort of movies anyway.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the movie seems to be eventually Scotland will rise up and kill the English, and I'm all for that. But I'm not necessarily inherently interested in the medieval, combat and period piece.
Yeah, I'm down for that stuff. And this looks like it's shot well. That's that stuff in particular.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't look cheap. I'll give it that. Yeah, I'm concerned about Chris Pine's accent. Seems.
I think that is a fair concern to have, because there are a lot of examples of bad Scottish accents.
Yeah, and there's a reasonable number of Scottish actors now that you could probably grab one of them.
You probably could.
Gerard Butler's available.
That's it. Yeah, but Chris Pine's better. Not in accent. I'm not disputing that. Just as an actor.
All right, fine. David Tennant. He's around.
He is. He's pretty good. Can't argue with that one.
There's a bunch more. For some reason, I'm blanking now that I'm trying to think about it. But even Karen Gillan, put her in there. It's fine.
I mean, not as Robert the Bruce.
Sure, why not? Go for it.
Yeah, very different take.
Roberta the Bruce.
Sure, why not? I'd still watch it, let's be honest.
Oh dear. Joe, it's funny though, you were complaining how the last one was too bright and sunny. This is like the complete opposite of that. Everything's murky and grey.
Yeah, but that, to be fair, they both suit the movie.
Oh sure, no. Like, I'm just saying that this is medieval Britain is typically seen as a very muddy, cold place, and that's what I get from this trailer. So congratulations on that. I wasn't really feeling it until it said Hell or High Water director, and I went, oh, okay, all right, maybe.
Yeah. No, I'm into it, and if Netflix are putting some more, budget into their movies, because, not necessarily, then I'm all for this, because Netflix need to step up their movie game. TV's pretty good. Movies are still slack.
Oh, well. Is this meant to be a more accurate version of like Braveheart, or not the William Wallace story specifically, but more the Robert the Bruce story? Because obviously Braveheart was very.
Yeah. I don't know how accurate it'll be, but
because the Robert the Bruce story, from my fairly simple understanding of it, was a lot more separate to William Wallace than it was in Braveheart, where they kind of had them interlinked.
Yes.
So, I'm assuming at least in that factor, this is a bit more accurate. But I mean, how accurate the actual story is I'm sure open for debate.
Yeah.
Or not really debate. I mean, either is it or isn't once it comes out. But
I will say, I'm just glancing now at the description that Netflix given. The first thing says the untold true story of Robert the Bruce. Makes me go, okay, it's probably not that accurate. And if they're going with the untold version, it's probably pretty.
Will
loose.
he have lightning bolts coming out of his arse? That's the important question to ask here.
I mean, I think it'll be more accurate than that.
I'd prefer if he had lightning bolts coming out of his arse.
Of course you would.
That'd be more entertaining.
I don't know if I can argue with that or not. that might just be.
He can zap the English with his bolt of lightning, and then we can get get the dust effect from the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer, as they crumble from dust.
Look, as much as I really like this movie, the look of this movie, I have to say, objectively speaking, that does sound more fun.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a personal taste. Like, I'm not necessarily inherently interested. Obviously, I do actually quite like Braveheart, so there are examples of it working out where it's a good movie. But
Yeah.
and it's got a good director. You know, Hell or High Water is pretty solid.
I'm just quite into this. I'm reading historical fiction
That's
books
it.
at the minute and
I
stuff.
will say
So,
about Hell or
yeah.
High Water, I think that movie is nothing without its good script.
That's fair. I can't
So,
argue with
I
that.
think that's a concern here. If it's not got a good script to back it up, then we'll see.
No, I can't argue with that. The script definitely is the shining point of that movie.
So we had another Netflix movie. We typically have two. Most weeks have two Netflix trailers. Um,
Of
this
course
is
they do. Because
this is Hold the
Netflix.
Dark. This is a film by Jeremy Saulnier. Who is that, you may ask? That is the guy who did Blue Ruin and Green Room, which were two very tense thrillers. And this is Jeffrey Wright, and he is here to investigate. A child was taken by wolves, and we've got this snowy landscape. Although the trailer seems to clearly imply by the end of it that this wasn't actually wolves. This was more like I don't want to quite say a gang, but like a group of human beings who like worship wolves and have like these masks on and shit. Very cultish,
cultish.
yes. And we have the husband. What's his face with True Blood? Skarsgård.
Alexander Skarsgård. Yeah. I feel like I have to specify which one.
The Skarsgård one. So
Yeah.
so yeah, you have this tension, you have this like moody kind of atmosphere as he's trying to promise the mother that he'll investigate and he'll try and find something. Because at first, like, the dad's like, "Oh, you're going to kill them, aren't you? You're going to kill those wolves." Like, I'll try and help whatever way I can. So you can tell that he's going to be a very calm and collected character. So both his previous films, Saulnier, were both very tense.
I've not actually seen Blue Ruin. Really like
Green
Green
Room was
Room.
great. Green Room is the better of the two, but I mean, Blue Ruin's pretty damn solid.
I'm a little disappointed he didn't go with another color theme for the title. I'll be honest.
Hold the Dark, red.
I feel like red would have been a really easy one to slip into this title.
White
Red
for
or
the snow,
white?
I'd say.
Yeah.
I'd say white in the dark. I don't know.
It's not our job to come up with titles. We're just giving them suggestions.
Yes. Whatever. Point is, the director alone is interesting. The trailer's pretty solid though. It gets pretty ramped up as it goes on. It really propels itself in terms of momentum as it goes.
And I think this really has a pace as well. Like, there's points where it's got a beat to it, unlike some other trailers that we get.
And because by the end, like, you're seeing these people in these creepy masks, and you're like, oh god, I can see how the third act's probably going to be absolutely gut
wrenching and terrifying.
So it's got, and I wonder, like, as the kids, because they never really make it clear in the trailer, I think, if the kids meant to be alive or not, or if
they don't.
I mean, when they think it's wolves, I guess you assume they're dead because it's wolves. But when we find out it's people, they could have been keeping the kid
maybe
alive.
Not. Yeah. No. Is that? Do you know what? I have to say, I think these two back to back might be the two best Netflix trailers we've had since we started this show.
This one for sure. Outlaw King, I'm not as convinced.
Fair enough.
I'm trying to think of what else we've had though, Netflix trailer wise.
We've had
come on, we had Caron's film last week.
I suppose I forgot that was Netflix because it didn't come up till right at the end. Okay.
Come on now.
In terms of being excited for the movie, sure. As a trailer, in terms of conveying, okay, this is what the movie is, beyond just the tone that gave me, I think Hold the Dark might be better than that.
Sure, Outlaw King's definitely not though. I'll fight you on it.
That's why I didn't choose that one there.
I still like that trailer more though. I think I will take just pure mood over plot every day of the week. If you can give me both, then great.
Yeah, I want both, and I think this trailer gave me both.
But no, so yes, ridiculous statement. Connor not remembering trailers from last week.
No. I remember the trailer. I just forgot it was Netflix because it came up right at the end, and it wasn't on the Netflix channel. It was just, oh yeah, this is a Netflix movie too.
Lots of backtracking here. Anyway, moving on. Next film is Await Further Instructions. This is a British film, and it kind of starts out. It's got like a bit of a Get Out kind of vibe to it, where you've got this white family, and the son's got this girlfriend, an Asian girlfriend, who they immediately start to be like the dad in particular, the old man starts to be very racist in front of her, and it gets very awkward. And he's like, "Hey, like we'll just leave tomorrow." Like I think it's like Christmas dinner they're there for. Um,
Yeah.
and but when they wake up the next day, there's like blast shutters over all the windows and doors, and they can't get out. And then there's a TV that has a very old school like CRT kind of like computer text kind of style, saying, giving them instructions and stuff they want them to do. Hence the title, "Await Further Instructions." But it seems like it's going to make them play various games. It's presumably violent, presumably psychological, and how they make each other think about each other. Very interesting. It's not like I wasn't feeling it super early on. Like I wasn't feeling the start of the trailer.
No, I think because the first half of the trailer is like, okay, so you saw Get Out, and you got. I mean, I like David Bradley, who's playing the racist old man,
good.
And he's very good at that shtick.
I like, because up until then, like, it was just kind of like, okay, so what is this? Some kind of like a family drama where they're going to get over the fact that their son's dating, someone who's not white. But then it got to this, and my question from the trailer is now, one of two things are going to happen, right? I like the premise of the actual like the horror sci-fi element, right? And that looks like it could be fun, so I'm intrigued to see the movie because of that. But one of two things are going to happen. One, the racial themes are going to play a role in the entire movie, and ultimately whatever the games or torture is going to be is going to in some way relate to that and have some sort of point about that. If so, great. Or it'll have nothing to do with that, and that all this is just the drama backstory before things get going, which can still be okay, but is nowhere near as impressive.
No, I agree. I'm not sure. Like I said, I think the second half, once it becomes like like a siege movie, right? Oh, they're all locked in, and there's all these games. I thought that stuff like, oh, I could be having fun with this. The first half, it just felt like, okay, we saw Get Out. Let's do our own. But I mean, if the rest of it's fun, I'll forgive that.
Yeah, that might play better in the movie anyway, because it's quick cuts of a few key moments where, it might not be that at all once we actually we see it. And I mean, especially, and again, if the rest of the movie does have things to say about these subjects, if it actually does play thematically into that topic, then it's fine that it sets it up with just more normal racism to begin with, and then uses the games to have some sort of point about it. Whether or not it's teaching the family a lesson, whether or not it's just going to be there as a thematic thing to, like how do they help each other once they're in this situation? How do they fall apart? So many of these horror movies where they're trapped in one location, it's usually about how you have this microcosm that represents society, and how do you then deal with that? They could do some great things with that if that's what they're going for. And so there's potential there.
Oh, there absolutely
is.
That's
called "Await Further Instructions." I do like the title. I think it's a really cool title, actually. Next up, we get another teaser trailer for "I Think We're Alone Now." I think we're alone now.
I get that every time I see the title. Not gonna lie.
So this was the Peter Dinklage, Ellie Fanning movie. And last time it was just him walking down a road. This time there's a couple of different quick cuts. And we have her like talking to him as well. We hear her voice, but they're just talking about where they were when it happened. We don't know what it is, but obviously it's whatever caused the apocalypse, right? Whatever's made us everything barren. And he's basically, I was asleep. Like he's very non-committal. And she's like, no, I don't remember where I was for sure. But the crux at the end is that he doesn't want her to come with. He's like, no, I'm used to being alone. Leave me be. And she wants to come with. So I think we're going to have this her try to force her way into his life, and he'll probably be better for it because he's a grumpy man who doesn't want anyone to be around.
It's usually how these stories
But I'm okay
go.
with that. And again, the music was good, the tone was good when it was like the empty streets and all that, and like I'm a sucker for that stuff. But it was working for me.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm feeling this one as much. I thought the last teaser had a strong direction. Nice mood piece, but ultimately that's all it was. This here, it's giving me a little bit more, but it's not grabbing me. I think I need a proper trailer.
I'm sure it's coming.
No, I'm sure it is, but we've had 2 teasers now, and I'm like, okay, I'll see how I feel after a full
I'm into
trailer.
it so far. I mean, it could go downhill very quickly with a trailer.
I mean, it looks okay, but I mean, it's not grabbing me.
No, this is I'm into it for as best I can tell. I'm into it so far, but I mean, it's not saying much yet until we get more, but
Yeah.
no. How much do you think Dinklage loves the fact that this character, at least from what we've seen, the fact that he's small doesn't factor into anything. He just happens to be small.
I feel like that's about half the roles he does now, intentionally. Like I think he intentionally chooses them. It's like, no, I want to prove I'm capable of doing more than just short roles. And then he is. Like, there's no arguing.
No, absolutely. By all means, there should be movies where there's just a lot of people in certain roles because, some people, it's not always relevant to the plot.
Yeah, it's fine. He's just there. He's an actor.
So that's I Think We're Alone Now. I think we're alone now. So next up we had Trench 11, which is funny this exists because Overlord's coming out soon, and Trench 11 is a very similar idea, except it's World War One, which is interesting because I feel like it's always the Nazis. It's always World War Two. The Nazis are always the one doing the weird experiments to create the.
Do you know why I think that is? Honestly, I think World War Two is a simpler war. It's very easy to go good guys, bad guys. World War One is this political
it's a bit more murky.
Right?
That said, I think the combat's more simple because it's trenches and it's two sides, and it's like no man's land.
I actually think World War One's arguably more interesting because you have this crossover between mounted horseback still.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And then, tanks and planes.
World War Two is like full of different plane strikes and what's not, and battle this, battle that. Whereas, World War One is like, no, we had this wall of trenches and we kind of kept shooting at each other in a big giant stalemate for 4 goddamn years.
pretty much.
There's a simplicity of it that I can just, in a video game, it's just like, you both keep regenerating your health just quick enough that you can keep lobbing things at each other from across the screen, and it just goes on forever.
Joe, it's not even that. It's you keep picking them off, but they just respawn because you're not getting any closer.
There you go. So, I mean, this looks unoffensive.
Okay. Yeah. I think the one thing it has going for it over Overlord is that it's coming out first.
That's fair. Yes.
It's out in like a week.
Yeah, they're sneaking this one right out. Again, this one's particular though because this seems to be at the end of the war, just after the war, and they're going specifically to this German trench because they want to find these experiments. They have rumors or intel that there's been experiments, and they go in wanting to like steal whatever it is. And of course they go down there, and like the people who are being experimented on are like super strong and have weird tentacle faces and things. And
I do think it could be potentially fun.
There's nothing wrong looking about it. I feel like it's one of those things where like Overlord's the one that is more obvious to be excited for, just given the information.
Yeah, this is lacking that it factor. Right? It doesn't have that spark of going, oh, that looks like something just a little bit.
I'm kind of expecting it to be kind of okay but generic. But I mean, for all I know, it could be the gem. It could be like, oh no, by the way, this actually ended up being really good. You should check this one out.
Yeah. I think it's worth noting that okay and generic in different genres can be very different things. Like to us, an okay and generic movie like this, we're probably still gonna have fun time with, right? An okay and generic, just a coming of age movie, maybe not so much.
Yeah, but it's not half bad. It's not half bad.
Yeah.
Oh. I got a message from Twitch on my phone. Whenever I start streaming it, it gives me a message saying, "Hey, you can control your Twitch and options from your phone." The reason why it's sending me that is because I accidentally clicked stream before we clicked record when we started recording.
Is that only just?
No, it was there the whole time. I just happened to look at my phone there.
Okay, that's fine. I was going to say that's a serious.
Oh no, I just happened to look there, and it made me chuckle. So that's Trench 11. It looks like it could be a decent enough little horror movie, if a little bit generic and uninspired. Yes. But nothing about it was sticking out as, oh, this is like, it wasn't like the acting was particularly bad or the effects looked particularly bad. It just
they looked pretty respectful.
But it didn't have the it factor either. There was no hook that said this is why you need to see this one.
I think to compare it to Overlord again, because I feel like we kind of have to, right? Overlord had a tone that was like, no, we're having fun.
Yeah, this is taking itself seriously for sure.
Yeah, and when you take yourself seriously, you have to be good. You have to prove that you deserve to take yourself seriously.
So hey, that'll take us on to the last trailer of the week, and I saved this for last because I like to put the weirder ones at the end. This is Slice, This is a A24 horror movie, which is about pizza, or a pizza place in particular, and the narration at the start of the trailer is like fading from my memory, but it was like there's a vampire and a werewolf.
No. It was a ghost and a werewolf in a
Yes,
pizza
and the
place.
werewolf comes back to town, and that kickstarts the events of the film, and we have a bunch of kind of recognizable people. Domino from Deadpool 2. She's in there. She's in there, and we have some cheesy like almost 80s esque like the pizza place has got like this mystical thing underneath it. There's a gateway to hell. We got some comedy.
Yes.
We have some ridiculous pizza themed.
Also, I want to say shame on you for using up your Buffy reference earlier just because you could get it out when you've got a Hellmouth in this one.
I guess yes. I guess there's a hellmouth in this one. Yes.
You blew your load too early.
Story of my life. What do you want from me? So we got pizza, and all I could think about watching this was how much this was made for Tim, because Tim is always talking about pizza and he likes horror movies. This is like just made for him.
I think someone at A24 is a fan of Screams After Midnight.
so no, it does look really fun. I have to admit, I like the first half of the trailer a bit more than the second half. There's a point where there's actual like all this purple mystical energy coming out of the pizza place where I'm like, okay, so we're going outlandish towards the end. Okay, fair enough. Which may be fine in the movie. It may not bother me in the movie, but I definitely liked it when it was more about like the pizza delivery people like questioning that there's something weird going on. Like the mystery of it was what was really I was having fun with the characters.
Yeah, I agree with that. I will say the worst moment as well for me comes after the title stuff. You know, the final joke. I can't remember exactly what the joke was now, but I thought the acting was awful. It's like, I know it's the guys looking around in the dark, and the girl comes up, and he's just like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "Whoa, that was really stilted and awkward."
Yeah.
Nowhere else in the trailer did any acting stick out to me except that one bit. And I think it sticks out more because this is the moment they highlighted at the end.
It's a danger to say this, but it looks like it's having fun with itself, and there's a good chance this could be like the B movie gem of the year. I'm not going to like put money on it and say it will be, because it may not be as good as the trailer's making it seem, but it does look pretty good.
It does. It has potential.
I don't think it's set in the 80s, but it does feel like it has like an 80s tone. I'm getting that kind of vibe from it.
It does. You got all that synth stuff going as well.
Piece of delivery, like I feel like that.
Even just the style, like when she's pulling on her jacket.
Yeah.
Like it felt 80s.
And when I say that, it's not like obviously there's piece of delivery today. I just mean having the character be a piece of delivery driver is very 80s feeling to me.
Yeah, and I will say it felt intentionally retro 80s, like with the stuff like the jacket. So I think it's set present day.
So that is Slice. So there you go. That is all the trailers this week then. So at this point in the show, we pick our favourite trailer of the week. So.
Yeah, for me, it's easily the two Netflix ones are the standouts, and but I'm gonna go Outlaw King just to annoy you slightly.
See, for me, it's between Hold the Dark and Slice.
Okay.
And I think I want to go with Slice, to be honest. I think Slice, because it's got that fun, bubbly kind of tone to it. It feels very upbeat. It feels like it's having fun with itself, and I'm sure Hold the Dark is going to be very good. Like I'm sure it is.
Yeah. I will say, even though I picked Outlaw King kind of because I'm just more into that movie. Hold the Dark might be a better trailer with its pace, though.
That's fair.
Because these things don't always line up. You can have a very well constructed trailer, but not necessarily be the best looking movie. I saw the
Slice trailer for the first time earlier this week, because normally I'll see all the trailers before we do this show, and that was the same with the rest of them.
But when Tim started talking about a pizza horror movie,
I saw someone else mention it first, but like nothing else lived up to that. Like I was like, oh, that was a fun trailer. Like I'm intrigued to this movie now, and there was some good trailers, but nothing quite lived up to the fun I had with that trailer earlier in the week. So, Slice.
Fair enough. Seems crazy to me that you know, even in the trailer, you're like, the second half of the trailer didn't do as much for you.
Well, no, it wasn't bad. It's just
It's...
I liked the first half more.
No, that's fair enough.
If that makes any sense. But that is this week's trailer talk. So, of course, let us know what you thought of these trailers in the comments below. If you want to support the show, head over to patreon.com/mailedfuzztv. You get a bunch of bonuses. You get a warm, fuzzy feeling for supporting the channel and everything we do here. You can do that for as little as $1 per month. Otherwise, get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. But that is us. So thank you once again for watching and or listening. We appreciate it loads. Keep watching movies and trailers and trying to guess if you like movies or not. We'll see you next time.